Ah, good morning, Mario. Good morning. Hello, hello. This desk is wobbling and it's driving me crazy. There we go. I think I fixed it. How are you guys doing this morning? Everybody okay? Where is everybody? Good morning. Morning, Torin. How are you? I like your profile picture on Zoom. You're welcome. We're missing a bunch of people today, so we will wait a few minutes and see who shows up. Hopefully we get some more people because today we're going to be doing some feedback stuff and then we are going to be doing the review for the quiz that y'all are going to take next week. All right, it is 8:30, so if you can turn on your cameras so I can see you, I would appreciate it. Thank you, Peyton. Thank you, Mario. Thank you, Alejandro. Thank you, Torin. We got 3 people just joining now. We got Haley and Bennett and Easton.
You know what's an even better game? Getting out and voting.
And Amaris is here. Hello, hello, hello. Good morning. How are you guys doing today? Everybody feeling okay?
Now that fantasy league's all broken up.
Let's see, Bennett, Brantavion, if you guys can turn on your cameras even just for a second so I can see you. Thank you, Bennett. Thank you, Easton. Good morning, Haley. If you can turn your camera on for a second so I can see you, I'll just mark you as present. Thank you, Haley. Big yawn there. That's one thing about the masks. If I yawn, you can't quite tell, right?
Someone is in my waiting room with Ronald Reagan. There's no way I'm letting Reagan.
We'll wait just a couple more minutes. So yeah, today we are going to do sort of a quarter one, like a look back at quarter one and what we would change if we could change it, right? Then we're going to talk about what we're going to do in quarter two and some expectations for quarter two. And then we are going to take a look at the review for the quarter one history test, okay? Which you're taking next. It's a quiz more, but you're taking it next week. But I wanted to give you the review ahead of time so you have plenty of time to review with it. And then just a reminder on Friday, what's happening on Friday? The PSAT, yes. So you will come to campus. Everybody's coming to campus. If you haven't been coming to campus, you have to take that survey before you get here. They're going to check your temperature. And then you will be sent to a specific room to take the PSAT. Okay, so we won't have class on Friday. So I've planned around that. No big deal, right? Good morning, Cash. But yeah, so no class on Friday. We're missing a few people. Zion and Ray and Ulissa. Navi's normally here. And I want to introduce you guys. Hopefully it'll work. It didn't work of course, I spent like an hour and a half over the weekend creating this new PowerPoint setup. And then of course, yesterday, the website that it connects to was down. So I wasn't able to use it, but it looks like it's working today. So I want to introduce you guys to this new tool that we're hopefully going to use this quarter that will maybe help with interaction and more interactivity. And I hope you guys will like it. But we'll talk about that in a couple of minutes. Good morning, Ulissa. If you can turn your camera on real quick for me. Brantavion, I still haven't seen you either. And then if you need to turn it off, okay, thank you, Ulissa. You can turn it back off once I've seen you because I see you're at school. If you need to turn your cameras off to hear me better, of course, at any point, you can do that as well, okay? All right, we'll wait one more minute and then we're going to go ahead and get started. I was hoping we'd get we'd get Zion and Ray in here because they are normally here, but it is a Wednesday. And since we missed Monday, it feels like a Tuesday, right? So I suspect that some people might show up in the next 5 minutes a little bit late. But yeah, so Friday, PSAT, make sure to wear your uniform, okay? And just remember that you have no penalty for guessing. So make educated guesses when you can, because you might get a point rather than just leaving it blank. You can't get any points, right? So just remember that. And like I said, obviously we don't have class then on Friday because you guys will be here taking the test. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So let me log into this and I'm going to introduce you guys to this new tool that I am hoping that we can use. And I'm going to give you guys a link. And I want you to go to this link. And open it. All right, so go ahead and open that up. It's in the chat. So this is a new app. It's new to me called Nearpod. Have any of you guys ever used Nearpod before? Mario's nodding. Most of the other students weren't familiar with it. And like I said, I just heard about it last Friday, but I thought we would give it a shot. It's supposed to increase like interactivity so that you guys have, more of a chance to sort of respond to things as we're going through Google Slides. So I thought we'd try it. We're going to try it for 2 or 3 classes, and then we'll have like a poll and see how we feel about it. And if we collectively don't like it, then we won't use it. But I thought we would give it a shot. Okay. All right. So, all right. So here we go. So quarter 1 review, quarter 2 expectations, glows and grows. Have you guys heard about that before? Glows and grows? No. So it's basically a way to, Zion says yes. All right. So it's a way to sort of talk about what we did that we liked and what we did that we think that we need to do better. Okay. And so that's sort of what we are dealing with today. And there's that again. So you guys can see the slide, right? Yeah? Okay. All right. Okay. So what I want to do is we want to talk about what we liked and what we didn't like. No, can you see it on the link or no? Did it just changed or no?
That's what I was saying. It's like, why is your name Ronald Reagan?
I just changed the slide. It didn't change for you?
Change your name.
Yes, it did. Okay. Yeah, so it's not through Zoom. That's the thing, is that it's supposed to take up less bandwidth. And so I thought like maybe that would help, right? So that you can hear me better while you're watching this. Okay, so we're going to talk about what we liked and we didn't like from quarter 1. So I want you to take a couple of minutes and to think about what you liked and add your thoughts to the next slide. I can see your name with your comments, but the other students can't. Okay, so go ahead and think about what you liked and what you didn't. And you should be able to just share that directly to my board here. So what you liked and the occasional cat pop up. This class is more interesting than the others. Well, thank you. So Cash, is that a like, or I'm sorry, is it a like or a didn't like?
Use this time to finish.
And if somebody says something that you agree with, you can hit that heart button, okay?
So you might as well.
So make sure of what you liked, right? So we're talking about what we liked. Okay, right now we'll talk about what we liked specifically. So the plays that we watched, what we learned about the different cultures, okay?
Yeah, last week was a horrible time to add. I know you know.
The way the classes were set up, it was easy to access them, like the hours of school because they were short, no drama, watch videos on different types of plays, okay? We always worked with people, okay? We got to learn about different versions of drama, Japanese theater, okay? Yeah, Japanese theater is really fun. I thought you guys would really like all the Asian theater because it's something really different, right? You know, it's not something that you can just see anywhere.
Yeah.
It's unique.
Let me write all this down real quick because I'm gonna give it to her since I see her today.
So go ahead, if you have anything else, go ahead and add it. And like I said, you can always like somebody else's too, which, okay, so we've got some likes happening, so that's good. And then a couple of people have mentioned about how I set up my Schoology. So do you guys find it easier to navigate my, sorry, the motion detector freaked out. My Schoology page, is it easy to navigate for the most part?
A lot of stuff on the table. Let's see.
Yeah. I'm trying to list, you know, from the front that you can see like the section that's in each folder. And I'm going to try to like put like, you know, turn in blank here so that you know what folder to go to right away. Okay. Okay. All right. So it looks like we really enjoyed Asian drama. That we really liked that. I'm going to go ahead and delete that one because I know it was a dislike. We really liked learning about different cultures and that the projects weren't super hard and you always worked with people. Now, I will be upfront with you and say that we're probably going to work less with other students on big projects this quarter, but there will be opportunities to work together in class. Okay. And I'll talk about that a little bit more. Anybody else got anything else to add to our board for quarter one? No? Does this pretty much cover what we liked? So this is sort of the thing that we're going to be doing more of, these boards, where you can like type instead of in the chat, you can type on the board and it's sort of easier for me to see and you get to see what all the other students are saying. Do you like that? Yes or no? It's different, right? All right. So I'm going to talk about what I liked. I think we learned a lot about what works and doesn't work for our class. And I think I really appreciate how good you guys were with technical problems on your end, on my end, on everybody's end, because when I was coming into this, I was thinking, oh, I'm going to be able to talk to you guys. I'm going to be able to see everyone, right? And we figured out pretty quickly that like that doesn't work for everybody. So this Nearpod is going to maybe help people who can't talk on mic to be able to you know, on these collaborate boards and stuff, sort of help them partake more, right? And maybe increase engagement. I thought that you guys were really good about communicating and talking to me about when you needed help. I think everybody was really good about saying like asking questions about assignments, right? Like, I don't understand this, or can you say that a different way? And that helps me grow as a teacher, and it also helps me grow as learning about what works for this class specifically. Okay. And of course, now I'm getting a better idea of you guys, right? And your personalities and what works for you and your senses of humor. And that helps me tailor things to each class. Okay. Okay. So now let's talk about what we didn't like about quarter one. Okay. So take a minute, couple of minutes, think about some things that if you could change, you would, and go ahead and input on the collaborate board what you would have liked to have struggled, what you struggled with, or what you didn't like, or what you would have changed. The mask, okay. That was just something I thought that I would try. But I think we learned that it didn't quite work. Yeah. The projects at the end, didn't like working with other people on the projects. Okay. All the projects at the end were really from the short quarter, right? So that's not going to happen again for sure. Okay, cut down on the number of projects. Yep, we are going to do that. You didn't like the mask project. Okay, that's fine. I just thought it'd be something to try where you get to, draw and stuff. The first couple of weeks, it was really hard to navigate classes. I got confused. I had to go to a random classroom to ask what class I was supposed to be in. You got embarrassed. I totally understand that. I think I was also very confused. I had like a list for myself every day at the beginning of what class I was teaching and what time it was because I wasn't completely sure. Okay. Anything else? I'm seeing some likes, which I appreciate. Some of the people didn't do their parts in the projects. I completely agree. And that's part of the reason why the projects that we're going to work together on in the future will be smaller. And it'll be things that ideally you'll have time to finish in that class. So it'll be like in 20 minutes, do this together. And then you turn it in and you don't have to try to coordinate with people who aren't here. So that will hopefully help with that. Some people are saying that they like the mass project. Okay. So it was, like I said, it was worth a shot. I just wanted to see if it would work. And I wanted to give you guys a chance to maybe, if you're creative, draw. And some of you guys drew some really, really amazing things. Like some of you are really artistic. And that was like very fun for me to see. It was sometimes hard to communicate with other people. I get that. And I want to try to prevent that from happening in the future for sure. And Greek drama wasn't something that you personally found interesting. That's fair, right? We're not always going to be like studying stuff that we find interesting. I can't tell you how many English classes that I was in undergrad where the novel that we were reading was something that I did not like at all. However, you've got to like look at it objectively, right? And I think you guys, if you didn't like it, I didn't sense that, right? You still did the work, which is exactly what you have to do. Anything else? What do you guys think about these collaborate boards? Do you like them? Better than the chat, right? I think it's better than the chat. I can definitely see more. And I can save them too, which is easier than with the chat. When I am in my normal setup, I think I can also record it, right, and stream it. So that way when people are watching it later, they can also, there's like a way to do it at student pace, where if you want to go back through it at your own pace, you can do that. So that'll be fun. All right. So some things that I didn't like about quarter one, that I feel like I didn't do a very good job about communicating expectations and instructions for projects to you. And so that was definitely my fault. And I am going to try harder to write clearer instructions so that that eliminates some confusion. Um, I also felt like there were times when some of you weren't really engaged. And so I know that it's really difficult for online school. I totally understand um, that it's there's a disconnect, right? Um, so all I can do is just ask you to work harder at paying more attention and not using your phone as much during class and trying to actively engage more, which is the idea behind Nearpod, is that you have to like put stuff in. Since I can see who's typing, I know who's not participating, and then I can specifically ask those people to participate. Okay. So that's one of the other benefits of Nearpod. All right. So this is a poll. Did you like the Crash Course Theater videos, and do you think they are helpful? Yes, no, or I don't feel strongly either way. You should be able to vote, I think, hopefully. I haven't done a poll with this before, so. All right. This is cool. I can see it like in real time as it comes up. So yes, I don't feel strongly either way. I'm waiting on a few more people to vote. Yes, yes. No, so no, it looks like the majority of people, almost 60% say yes. I still haven't heard from Ulissa, and I haven't heard from Ray. So if the two of you can go ahead and vote for me, please. Okay. All right, I don't feel strongly either way. So it looks like about 60% of us say that we like them. About 30% of us don't feel strongly either way. And then we have a no, and we still don't have one vote. Okay, so I'm going to continue to use them, but I might use them less often or more as homework so that you are watching them before class so that you have some of the information and then I can like expand on it. Because it's a lot of info, but it's only like 15, 20 minutes, right? So if your homework for this class is on average 15 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes, like that's pretty darn good, right? Twice a week. So that might be sort of the approach going forward, is to have you watch it before you come to class. I might still use the like little pieces where they like illustrate a play in class, because I think that's also a good way for you to get an idea of the basic plot of a play really quickly, right? All right, cool. All right, and everybody answered. Yeah, I like this. This is fun. Okay, so quarter two, let's talk about what we are going to be doing in quarter two and what it's going to be like so that you have a clear idea going into it, how it's going to start off, okay? So we are going to begin by doing a solo project, and you have to write a paper about the project process. Now, this is a mandatory paper that like all the 9th graders have to do, all the 10th graders have to do. So, don't feel like, oh my gosh, this is so much work. Like I can't not assign it to you. Okay. So what I have decided that we're going to do is that at the beginning of the second quarter, we're going to be looking at different countries in European theater. So we're going to look at England, we're going to look at France, we're going to look at Spain, we're going to look at Germany. You're going to pick one of those countries and pick a play or a playwright from like a list and research it. Okay. You're basically going to be making a presentation about the play or the playwright to, teach us about that person or that play. Then you're going to write a paper about the project. So you'll write about what you learned and what you did, right? It's going to be 600 to 850 words, and you have to use and cite one source correctly. Okay? So that's going to be the first sort of like two summatives. Is going to be this project and the paper, right? I have it plotted out where this will be done before Thanksgiving. So we'll just get it out of the way, right? Before Thanksgiving break. And then after we come back, it'll be like fun times and cool stuff. And we'll talk about musicals and watch a musical and all that good stuff. Okay. Any questions about this? Do you have a question? Yep. Go ahead, Mario.
So when is quarter two officially starting and ending?
Starts to, you're in it. Here you are.
Oh,
Yep. Yep.
when does it end?
It ends the last day of school before Christmas. So it
Okay.
is what, December? I can't remember if it's the 16th or the 18th. Is that right?
It's okay, you don't have to answer it now.
Yeah. But yeah.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So we'll be doing these like targeted sort of like history things about these countries. Okay. And then you'll have some examples of stuff that you can research. So if you think about the research projects you did in a group, that was kind of like a practice run for this, right? Because now you're going to be doing it by yourself. Okay. All right. And then you'll just write, your paper is going to be on like, this is the project that I did. This is how I did it. This is what I learned, right? And that's it. And I will help you with the paper as well, okay? So there'll be days when you'll be turning in drafts of your papers, where we can workshop papers. I'm not going to leave you alone to deal with that stuff too. All right. This sound good, or at least sound doable? Let's put it that way. Sound doable? Yeah. Okay. All right. And I'll give you more details next week when you're not like freaking out about the PSAT and the quiz and everything. We'll talk about it in more detail. All right. So as we discussed, I think group projects over the course of several days are just not really working in the online format because you can't just sit around at a table and work together, right? So I don't think we're going to have like a big group project that's worth like a summative grade again. It'll be more like things that are broken up to where it's like, okay, hey guys, work in a group of 4 and you have 20 minutes. You're going to like read this play and come up with, like who's the protagonist and who's the antagonist and why. Go. And then that way, when you come back at 20 minutes, you've got an answer and you don't have to try to communicate with people who are absent. Does that sound better? Yes? Yeah. Okay. All right. However, for this big project, one of the things that you guys are going to be required to do is to set deadlines for yourself. So you're going to decide, like at this day, I'm going to have decided what I'm going to do my project on. On this day, I'm going to have, 3 sources that I can cite for my project. On this day, The slides are going to be done on this day, the paper's going to be done. And then you have to meet each checkpoint, or if you don't, you have to sort of confess that you didn't and why not. All right. So I'm trying to help you learn how to sort of set your own schedule and make these goals for yourself. All right. So that's one of the other things that we are going to be doing in quarter two. Okay, so we're going to be trying Nearpod, which we're already trying. As I said, if we hate it, then we won't use it, but we'll give it a shot for at least like the first 3 or 4 classes, right? There will be more cold calling, especially if you are not participating in Nearpod, so that I know that you're actually out there, right? Because I can't, most of the time, I'm just talking to a bunch of black boxes, right? If you don't have a mic, I want you to contact EdTech and copy me. If you have a mic with bandwidth issues, when I cold call you, you will put comments in the chat, okay? So that's how we're gonna do that now. So if I call on you to read a slide and you can't, then the next time I call on you, it'll be to answer a question, okay? All right, so questions or concerns about quarter one or quarter two. This is just like an open-ended thing. Take a couple minutes and think about it. If there's any concerns or questions that you have that you want me to answer for you right now. And then we're going to move on to looking at the review for the first quiz.
Okay, then you need these history credits. So let's go ahead. Now you look up. We're gonna go back out here. This is kind of stuff you need to be looking at because this is the way your schedule is gonna go.
So if you want to talk about something that you haven't said before about the quarter one, or if you want to mention something that you're concerned about already about quarter two, like I'm nervous about that project, or I don't feel like I'm very good at writing papers, or I find it hard to communicate with you in class, maybe, right? Whatever it is that you need to express.
This is an important thing. If you notice right here, where it says wait list.
Hey, Vincent. Good morning. Oh, he's connecting to audio. He can't hear me yet.
Those classes first are like the really cool classes are seniors who are already majors. Like if you're coming in as a freshman, going, oh, I'm gonna take this awesome class. There's a chance you might not get it because people have already signed up. So let's go over here.
All right. Okay, so I have a question. Is quarter two harder than quarter one? Is it going to be more challenging? It's going to be different, right? The idea, I think, for quarter two for us is that we have to do that research project. We have that paper. And then there's a creative project, okay? So I've spaced it out further, that's for sure, because the quarter is longer. So I'm hoping that it will be more sort of even, right? It won't be like these huge jumps and like things that are really difficult. It'll just be like sort of the same level of intensity, right? You'll be like, okay, I got to work on a project. The project's done. You got a little time between, and then you get, then the next thing happens. But it'll be more steady is my goal for it. That's a good question. Okay, so a couple of people are worried about group projects. I don't think we're going to be doing those. No, there will not be a big test at the end of the semester for stuff that for both quarters, okay? I usually like to do like a quarter one test and a quarter two test. Report cards are going to come out, I think, this Friday. You don't want many projects? You're not going to have them, hopefully. I'm not planning on having any big group projects in quarter two. So at least in my class, you won't have that to deal with. Okay, all right. If you have anything else that you want to submit, you totally can. But we are going to move on to looking at the review together. So I'd like you to log into Schoology. They said that it is working now. And I want us to go into the class content. Let me share my screen with you. Okay, there we go. So I have the first 3 weeks, and I think that's what I'm going to do now is put 3 weeks at a time up in Schoology. So today we already just did our quarter one recap and quarter two goals. Now we're dealing with the review. Friday, you don't have class because you're taking the pre-SAT. On the 20th, you have your quiz. The 22nd, we're going to talk about medieval theater. The 26th, we're talking about Elizabethan theater. The 28th, we're in France for the Royal era. And then the 30th, we're talking about the Spanish Golden Age, which I think you guys are really going to like. It's a pretty cool period of time where people were just like pumping out plays. We're talking about I think it's like over 35,000 plays. So, and all the plots are like pretty cool. So, and then if you still want it, quarter one content hasn't gone away. It's in that black folder. It's just tucked away so that it's not right in your face all the time, so that it looks a little less scary. Okay. All right. So if we click in the 1013 to 1016 folder, we have our quarter one review. Now, this is going to be for a grade. However, you are going to be able to take it multiple times. Okay. So I'm going to edit. Yeah. Between now and Sunday, you can take it. How many times did I set it to? Let's do 5. Up to 5 times. Okay. And it's going to be a scholarly habits grade. Okay. What scholarly habit are you practicing by doing the review?
Can you repeat it?
What scholarly habit are you practicing by doing the review before the test? Somebody said note taking. I mean, you can use your notes when you are like looking at the test for sure. But I'm thinking more like, studying, right? Because you're like practicing with the review. Okay. Right. Kind of like the PSAT, right? Focusing skills. Yeah. Okay. So we have about 12 minutes. I want you to get started on this. Look over the questions. You can resume it if you do not get a chance to finish. Okay. You can take it up to 5 times. And if you have questions, you can ask me. Again, it's going to be a scholarly habits grade. So let's say your highest is like an 80. I mean, it goes into scholarly habits like with your journals and with your drafts of your papers that your paper you're going to be doing. All that stuff's going to go into scholarly habits. Okay. So don't feel like you have to get a perfect grade on it, but use this as a way to sort of figure out for yourself, what do I need to practice on? Cash. Now the PSAT is really more about like general like reading and stuff like that. This is more specialized. So let's take a really quick look at the questions together and just see if there's anything that anybody or several people are like, hey, wait a minute, I have no idea what that question is. Okay, so the name of the first actor from ancient Greece. How many men did the dithyramb have? Aeschylus's main contributions to tragedy. So take a look through these and see if there's anything where you're like, I have no idea what the answer to this is, or I don't even know where I would find the answer for this question. We got 10 minutes to work on this together, okay? Oh no, wait, we've got 20 minutes. I'm hallucinating. So take a look and figure out, is there anything you would like me to either tell you where to find it or we can talk about it all together? No, it is not a summative. This review is not a summative. This review is scholarly habits. The test is going to be a summative, or the quiz, right? This is just practice.
Logic, quantitative reasoning, if you take the logic course, it's logic through calculus. Like you're solving problems.
So start the review, and then I'm here if you have questions, you're confused, you want me to answer something, clarify a question, because I'll tell you what, one of the hardest things about, here we go, the lights again. One of the hardest things about teaching, in my opinion, is writing tests, right? Because I might think that a question makes a lot of sense from my point of view, but from your point of view, it might not, right?
So here's your humanities. Here's your general ed.
There's several people who are not working on the test. I need you guys to start looking through the review, looking to see if there's any questions that are really either confusing or difficult.
You're gonna need to get all kinds of credits.
You can click through a bunch of the questions, look for ones that you're like, I don't even remember us talking about that, right?
Like your department, if you're gonna do history or education, you have to see what they require, because what you take during your undergraduate might not count, or there's stuff like the history class you take, might not have been something they needed. So look, right. This is kind of 13 to 15 credits, you need 5 classes. Social studies, so this is your A push right here. Humanities, that could be anything, that's general social studies. These are kind of the courses you want to have fun with, so these are the ones you're like gonna get your A's in. Natural scientists, yeah, take science, physical science with the lab, it's fun. You do like observations. Really, you could do that at the community college level and get the same stuff. But, communication, it's really, like, if you want to hear bad speeches, that's what it is. Ethnic studies, quantitative reasoning.
I'm going to give you a couple minutes and then I'm going to take a look and make sure people are working on this.
It really all depends on the major. So graduation requirements, let's go back and see.
Working on the review. The review's in Schoology. So you should be clicking through the review questions and making sure that if there's anything that you immediately are like, I have no idea, I don't even remember talking about that, I don't know who these people are, so that I can tell you.
undergraduate study. Oh my God, so many degrees. Look at all these degrees you can get. Look at all these degrees you can get. How will you ever think?
All right, it looks like pretty much everybody who's here is working on it, which I appreciate. Thank you. So,
That would be fun. Unless you're planning on becoming a priest, I wouldn't do religious studies. You can get your degree in Portuguese or plant pathology. Oh my God, let's see where we are.
hmm,
Like certain things like Jewish studies, yes, I'm Jewish, but unless I was planning on teaching Jewish studies, I don't get a degree in Jewish studies. It's just like, it's very specific. Like a history degree, you can do more with the history, you can kind of history teacher. You can go on TV and talk about alien culture. You can do a lot of things, but yeah, you're kind of pigeonholed. So here's your degree. Here's your requirement.
got 15 more minutes.
So here's your requirement.
Again, you can resume it. So if you don't finish it, that's totally fine.
So university general ed requirements. You have to have that. So here you go. All the stuff they said, that I said before, you must have that no matter what. This is College of Letters and Science. So this is more of the scientific side. These are for people who are becoming like archaeologists. That's the type of history they're taking. They're taking a completely different history than like just a normal history teacher. Like they're learning like Sanskrit. So look, you gotta have 4 years of foreign language. It's usually not an easy foreign language.
Okay, good. We've got our first question. So let's talk about Aeschylus's main contributions to tragedy.
They're like the ones like Indiana Jones.
Okay, so I'm going to share my screen in just a second.
They're the super duper ones. Like me and
Okay.
her, we're like, okay. we know
All
what's
right,
up.
so Aeschylus's main contributions to tragedy. So Aeschylus did two things to tragedy. What was the first thing that he did that was really important that we talked about? Somebody tell me in the chat.
So here you go, Bachelor of Arts degree requirement.
Okay, he added a second actor. Yes, good job. And so when he added a second actor, what did that create?
History majors. So you need to know.
Nope, Mario, he didn't trim the course down to 15.
And or like I would say, if I you could take 18 European history.
Yes, okay. Ashley and Zion said it created dialogue, right? Remember, we talked about we had one person, we had Thespis, right, talking to the audience. When we added the second actor, now we could have characters talking in character to each other, and that's called dialogue. Okay, good. Okay, good. Excellent job. Perfect. So if you have any questions like that, we'll go through it together. Okay, good work. You guys can help each other, right? Especially on the review. If there's something, maybe somebody's struggling with ancient Greek theater, but they remember everything about Japanese theater and you're the other way, then you guys can help each other.
The general ed stuff is boring as heck, and you have to go through the motions. But once you get into your like actual degree, it gets fun. The origins of scientific thought. You have all these special lecture series with historians craft religion in Roman Africa, because you know you're going to get some like crazy hybrid Egyptian models with pagan Roman religion.
Cash, I have seen people wearing sweaters and jackets for the PSAT. So I would say bring one with you. Because I saw people wearing some today. I'm actually, it's funny that you said that because I was just thinking that I wish that I had brought like a sweater with me today because I'm pretty chilly. Of course, I am right by a window, so that's kind of my own fault.
You just have to do this. You have to have one course. You can pick one of these. The history of punishment. All the options. The samurai history. You're gonna do a lot of reading. That's the first one.
We got about 10 minutes left. So again, keep looking, see if there's any other questions. You can click through. You don't have to answer them all, right? Click through and see like, is there something that just is completely
These are the histories of specific countries.
doesn't make any sense or you can't remember it? At the very least, I'll tell you where to look, what PowerPoint to look in it.
History majors must complete one course from 4 to 8 categories. So all these different categories we have, you have to complete 4 courses. You could do US if you wanted to. This is the cool course. Check this out. These are like era specific. So if you like the Gilded Era, you could take a course on this Gilded Era. The US West since 1850. American history, the 19th century. The very specific courses are going to be harder, but they're going to be more interesting. The world of Alexander Hamilton. Digital history in the American city. Jews in American pop culture, which is really interesting because that's like a lot about the movie industry and the music industry. If you want African American history, you can get pre-1900, post-1900. Women and gender. So you have a lot to pick from. A lot to pick from. Yeah, capitalism. Oh my God, because you know the people are going to be there. So here you go. These are all the different types of courses you have. But seriously, this is for everybody. Every single one of you is going to go through this. So once you finally get your college, so History 201, that's the one they say, sign up for that as soon as you get to college. And that's History 201 is, you go into 200. That's this, the historian's craft classes. You want it, that's like your first class at University of Wisconsin. If the history department says take it, they say we strongly encourage you, that means do it. So you're going to do that like first semester. You go, what do you want? You're going to pick one of these historian craft classes. Every single one of you is going to go through this. If you want to talk about anxiety, try going through a course catalog. But history majors must complete this. Get this done because that's your history, writing, and research sequence. As soon as you're done with this, History 600 Advanced Seminar.
Okay, we got another question. So let's go to Terrence and Plautus, okay? Let me get the question up and share my screen. So this is Roman theater, right? Okay. I'm thinking it's the one about some of the biggest differences. Is that the question?
So there's some that are going to be like online. And then you have an honor. So let's look at 600.
Okay. So, all right, here we go. So some of the biggest differences between the comedies of Plautus and Terence were blank. So how were they performed? Does anybody remember what we talked about? How were the comedies of Plautus performed? How were the comedies of Terence performed?
Because these are very specific forces.
Anybody? Anybody seen this one yet? Anybody have an idea? Plautus's were sung. Yes, good job. Okay. So Plautus's comedies were sung. In addition to how they were performed, the comedies of blank were witty. So who wrote witty comedies? Terence, yes. So that means that whose were more of a farce?
These were what?
Whose comedies were more of a farce? Yes, Ashley's got it. Plautus's were more of a farce. Okay. While both used ancient Greek comedies as a basis for their comedy, who created more complex plots? Terence. All right, good. Yeah. So, yes, good. Okay. So you can sort of like figure it out by, okay, well, if, this is my answer for, number 2, well, then it's got to be the other person for number 3, right? The way that it's written. Okay, good job. Excellent. Good job. You're very welcome anytime. That's the kind of stuff that we want to work through all together, right? Okay. So we have 3 minutes left. On Friday, you won't be with me. You'll be taking the pre-SAT. However, if you want to work through some of these questions between now and then, tomorrow and Friday afternoon from 3 to 4, you can come to my office hour, or you can come on Monday to my office hour from 3 to 4 so I can help you, okay? Because you're not taking the test till Tuesday, okay? So if you want to do another review with me, come to my office hour from 3 to 4, right? Okay, questions? I got a question about number 5 where it says to, or not number 5. Is it number 5? The 7 elements of plot, you would not have to give a description of them there because I didn't ask you for one, okay? If you gave me one, I wouldn't mark it wrong because that's just more information. 15, real quick. All right, let's check out number 15 really quickly. Okay, so in addition to establishing tragedy and comedy as distinct genres, Horace said that drama should entertain and do what? Let me share my screen. So this is from Roman drama, right? So they should entertain and do this one other thing specifically. Yes. Good job, Haley. Teach a lesson. Exactly. That's correct. Yes. Yep, you guys got it. So teach a lesson, okay? And that's directly from the Roman PowerPoint. You can always go back and check those over too, okay? All right, good job. You guys did a good work today. Thank you for your feedback. I appreciate it. About the Plautus and Terrence question, if you still need some more clarification about that, I would go back to the Roman comedy section and look through that because all those answers are there. Okay. All right, that's it from me today. Thank you guys so much. Come to my office hours if you want more help and more review time before the test. Otherwise, I will see you next week since I won't see you on Friday.
Thank you, Ms. Ashley.
You're welcome, Mario. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
You too. Bye.
Bye. Navi, yes, you may resume the test if you don't finish, and the same thing with the review.